Oh. Bong bong and flawless. Hey, welcome to the show. Boy, what a show we have today. Holy Christmas.
Yeah, Father's Day. But yes.
Yes. Boy, howdy. Happy Father's Day, everybody. What an amazing show we have for you today. Just can't even begin to wrap my mind around the
There's just a few
amazing-
things in life that there aren't words for, and that's how highly intelligent and respectable the fans are and how great the show's going to be today.
Those are the two things, definitely. Welcome to the Bodycast. This is the official podcast for the subreddit r/rap battles. I'm Copasetic, and with me today, as always,
Pathogenic.
Bong Bong. Follow him on all the social medias. Super dope. R/rap battles is, of course, the largest online forum for the international culture of battle rap. Find us on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and on the official Discord server in the links below. It's the only place for fans to go for battle rap news from around the globe. Man, what a show today. Like Pat said, we appreciate you, all our viewers, watching us, listening to us from around the world. I was seeing some of the demographics, people in Denmark, people in France, really fuck with the show. Appreciate that. Just international battle rap. This is what we're about. And it's people all over the world. They appreciate the high level of content that we bring with our experience and our expertise. And that's because they are great battle rap fans as well. They are definitely the connoisseurs. They are the upper echelon of battle rap fan who watches the show and comments and likes and subscribes. Those are just the people. Those are the facts. I mean, what do you think?
I think that the intelligence level and the elegance level that they have, along with other various large words that somewhat rhyme together, is what you would consider the fans to be.
Very much so. The intelligent elegance.
Yes.
Just killing it with the bars today. And especially it's good-looking people. Intelligent and good-looking.
Yeah, imagine having both of those qualities together, right? Like all of our fans do, both smart and good looking.
Yeah, it's a wild coincidence, but here it is, and it's got to do something with us, I think, personally.
Yeah.
I digress. The way that you want to watch the show, if you are of that high level, on that, really just top speed, is to join us in the community cheers. And that's, you grab a drink, something like that, some beverage of any type, and put aside your ego, your petty squabbles, your drama, your fears, and join us now for the community cheers. Cheers.
Much more real than last week's cheers for me. Tangible liquid.
Right? That's good. It's having the real one is a little bit better, I think, when you're just a little bit, but it brings us together. It's something that we all do at the same time around the world, and makes it special. So appreciate everybody for showing up. What a huge show we have for you today. Just absolutely
lots of stuff going on.
There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
And shouts out to the homie.
Glenn's been on one lately.
For real. I hope you're feeling better, dude. I know that he was in the hospital just a week ago, and things have been crazy for him. But the whole community misses you, loves you, and hopes you're doing well, man. For real.
Yeah. Intelligence, good looking, and quite the fighter. That's Glenn Nelson's URL attributes right there.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. Can't wait to see you back in the ring, for real. Because motherfucker was headlining the last card, and I don't even want to know what kind of fucking shit he was about to unload on someone.
Would have been crazy.
Yeah, really would have been crazy, actually. But yes, we will get into that as well. And I think we should just kick off the show with the fucking Ultimate Madness 5. Really.
Might as well happen yesterday.
Yeah, the big thing that happened yesterday. There were, a number of battles. Nothing like super crazy, like as far as cards are concerned. When you look at it, it looks kind of light, but there's a lot that happened. I mean,
yeah, there was definitely some interesting I would say that the idea that Nunu was talking about a little bit, where it almost seemed like it was 2 cards, that was kind of interesting. Almost like the tourney bracket battles that were happening, along with the one-off battles that were happening, kind of made it feel like 2 separate cards mixed together. But it was basically the exact same as King of the Dot in the playoffs and in the Grand Prix in the season, having additional battles because you got to fill that time somehow.
Totally.
There's definitely some battles.
We're looking at the one-offs were Snake Eyes versus Stumbles, O-Red versus Nun Nun, Rida versus Kid Slade, and Steams versus Your Honor. And of course, the semifinals were Swamp versus Fonz and JC versus Sheet Happens. But let's start with the one-offs.
Yes.
I know you wanted to talk about Steams versus Your Honor because that's an interesting battle.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it because when it comes to the ability to battle, there are so many attributes that you have to have. And one of the most important ones is remembering what you fucking wrote.
It's kind of
it's kind of high up there on the list.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
And this created a little bit of an interesting situation where what Your Honor was saying was more well received from the crowd. And in my opinion, watching it, I thought that what he said was better than what Steams was saying. It seemed like Steams doesn't translate very well when he's on a big stage. That's kind of congruent to how it's been in the past for him. And he was really fast and trying to just get through his material super fast. And the crowd wasn't really fucking with it either. But at the end of the day, Your Honor stumbled and fucked up and almost choked in all three of his rounds. And so now you have a situation where, as a fan, how do you look at that? Are you giving Steams the battle just because he didn't fuck up? Or are you giving Your Honor the battle because what he did say when he got it out was better? And this is one of those age-old arguments when it comes to battle rap.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's been around since Twerk. It's been around. All the guys that have talent that do also struggle with remembering their material, it seems to happen. Additionally, this battle was supposed to happen on Kings versus Queens 3 on April 30th. And so there was tons of fucking extra prep time. So, Your Honor, what are you doing, bro? Like,
Right?
why are you fucking up with that much extra prep time?
That's wild. It's like a good chunk. There's guys who can prepare and write in like 2 weeks time and even a week time. I mean, 2 weeks probably is good, but with this much prep time,
we're talking about tournament battles happening on this card where all 4 of those battlers only had 2 weeks. So
facts.
I don't know. It's
April was a few months ago.
Yeah,
May, June, a couple months ago.
I think it was something from the 30th, which is the last day, and yesterday was the 18th, like 38 days or something like that, between 30 and 38 days.
That's a lot. And you never know what's going on in someone's personal life and stuff like that. But that's kind of the point, right? You sign up for a battle, you know that you're going to be prepared at this date. So it's weird. But
also, my math was fucking terrible there. It's way closer to 50 days.
Time math is hard. Time math is a totally different thing. So I think you're excused.
Yeah.
Time math is the next thing beyond. Yeah. So then it goes to Your Honor, right? I mean, what was the fan vote?
The fan vote was to Steams.
Oh, okay. Shit.
I believe, or maybe it did end up going to Your Honor. There was something weird that had happened where Nunu and Jay Black ended up getting Steve Harvey and were given the wrong winner, and they had to come back later on another break and say who the actual winner was. It was a really weird situation.
Okay. It went to Steams. Jimmy is saying.
Did you go to Steams? Okay.
Jimmy, longtime fan of the show, friend of the show. Appreciate having you on as our third co-host today.
Always.
And I think the thing was, I mean, Snake Eyes versus Stumbles. That was the moment that
was the big
talking
one
about, for real.
That was the big one, and this was sort of the grudge match. And traditionally, grudge matches for battles are really hit or miss.
it's rare they live up to the hype. It's very
Yeah.
rare. Yeah.
And so a lot of people think that Snake Eyes kind of fumbled the bag on this one. And I have to agree with that. I felt like there was a lot of talk, especially when it comes to the face-off. There was a lot of hype around, okay, Snake Eyes had a pretty good showing against Twerk. He got beat, but he did better than people expected. And so with an actual angle to go around, he's going to have some crazy stuff for Stumbles. And it was pretty meh. And Stumbles was crazy. I mean, he even had the audio bit that he played during it. I don't know, was that, I can't
brought
remember.
speakers into the third round to play Hit 'em Up.
Hit 'em up, yeah.
Which is like such a bold move. Apparently the staff didn't know about it. We brought his own speakers. It wasn't like a Lux situation. It was like,
yeah, it was definitely a weird situation, but it's one of those moments that ended up working for him. And it's kind of, I did see some people on Reddit, I think, that were talking about, does URL sort of do something about it? Because EK did a similar thing against, was it T-Top with the changing of the lights during their battle? And it's one of those, is that okay for you to do? It's like Lux bringing out the coffin and everything. Like, is that something that should be allowed, or?
It's the Wild West out here, I've always said that. And I mean, obviously I have always said that. I puppets, like for the puppets battle, I had a smoke machine. And, I had people coming in. There's no rules about other people coming into your battles. Well, I mean, unless you're in like a tournament situation. But in a situation like this, you could do whatever you want. And unless you're clearly, outlined, hey, these are the rules. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. Fair game, I think. Me personally, obviously.
Yeah, I guess like it would fall under the categorization of a prop. Technically,
Right.
And props are allowed in battles. You can't distinguish between a small prop that you can carry in and one that you bring in that's an audio prop or a visual one from the lights. I guess it has to all be lumped together.
There's so many things you can do. I think it's still wide open. I have a bunch of gimmicks that I've yet to do. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, it's wide open. So I think fair game, especially if it's not in a tournament setting. If you're in something like, where there's money on the line, or I guess there's money on the line for this one.
That's the thing. There was technically money on the line, and it was technically for the belt, for the Midnight Madness belt. So it was.
But again, there's no rules. They didn't have any rules.
Correct.
There are no, this is what Lush was talking about when he was on. It's like, it's a cool concept, but there's really, you can do whatever the fuck you want. There's really no structure behind it yet. So,
but with that being said, I guess shout out to Stumbles. He really showed out. He, unanimously won the judges' decision, won the belt, won the money, and Snake Eyes was pretty underwhelming.
It's really, a big hit to Snake Eyes stock after having been robbed of the belt previously and now losing it legitimately, as well as a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And like, who knows, right? The thing, I think we've been talking about that before as well. You never know what's going on in a battler's life. You never know what's going on in the extracurricular stuff. If this is indicative of the quality that Snake Eyes is really, or if he's, thanks, Jimmy. In a black and white, I'm out here trying to explain the gray areas. Like, no, this guy sucks. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, and of course the loser is not going to be.
Okay, that's what ended up happening.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Did you do that?
What was that?
Power? Did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, sick.
That was not me. I have not. I really don't touch my computer while we do this. I didn't even know that. Let me see here. One second.
Yeah, press some stuff.
Nope. I cannot make it pop up.
Okay, shit. I am the fucking master then. I am the master controller. This is episode 17. And at first I was like, hey, we got to get our fucking shit together. We have 17 episodes. And I'm looking at other like Battlerap podcasts. They're in the episode 200, episode 100 and something. I'm like, okay, we're still figuring our shit out. All right. We're all right.
We're still on the learning curve. We're good.
We're good. And Come on, look at the potential is enormous. Look how handsome, charismatic.
I think our names almost have the same amount of letters, so
It's crazy.
it matches it.
Totally. It's really this. If you're not following the Bodycast, you're really doing yourself a disservice. But yeah, crazy. I mean, the thing about having gimmicks and antics or props or something like that is it really dominates the attention. People weren't talking about, they were talking about the Ultimate Madness semis, and rightfully so, because they're worth discussing. But for sure, the majority of the focus, and especially on the subreddit, was,
Stumbles and Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes. User Finn101804 says, LOL, I can't even feel bad. Snake been a cocky ass boy since day one. Got jumped and robbed for his belt, then got it back and gave Stumbles a real title shot, then got his soul lifted. That was a nasty body. Snake thought they were chanting 2-0 for him. Laugh emoji. Stumbles third was brutal, and the way he ended it was just perfect. Snake cried in the car, definitely. So
it's one of those situations. Interesting to see too, because at that point, like, people were talking about how tough the crowd was, and especially noticeable throughout Nun and ORED as well. Like, it wasn't an easy venue to get crowd reaction in. That being said, they were also a pretty fair crowd. Like, I've always said this too, when it comes to being a battler, yes, you should be proud of the material that you have, but especially when you're a professional or even at the upper echelon of developed talent, you should know when your stuff deserves a reaction and when it doesn't. And the crowd's not just going to give it to you because, I mean, I've been in the crowd before and judging a battle and watched people say something and then look at the crowd and be like, what, no reaction? And I stand there and say, it's not good. I'm not going to react if it's not good.
Or if you don't set it up the right way, if you're not building energy the right way. There's so many variables, and people who, that's why we always say, performance is everything, because you can have guys who are just writing absolute garbage and perform it brilliantly to the point where they get the whole crowd on their side. I completely agree with you. The audience for the most part is fair, because they're just regular people. It's your job as an MC, even before Battlerap, it's your job as an MC to grab their attention and to do something with it. So the responsibility always on the battler, even if the crowd is.
Yeah, even if the crowd's kind of meh. With that being said, though, something that I did want to talk about too, I guess we could just jump right into Nun and ORED.
Let's jump in.
When it comes to this battle, I didn't really know what was going to happen. ORED obviously was coming back for the tournament, and then he hasn't been on a big stage in a while, obviously, because there wasn't one. But I thought that he was going to be a little bit better against Nun than he was. I thought it was kind of okay. Nun stuff really wasn't connecting with the crowd at all, and they weren't giving him any reaction. And what I wanted to highlight from this battle was his response to the crowd. So when he says something, a little bit through his first round, and is then telling the crowd, y'all got to wake up. You're not even, in this. I deserve more reaction than that. You guys aren't giving it to me. He finishes his round. He's like, man, they got to wake up. He's talking to his people and the people around him about it. As an audience, as a crowd member, I would look at that almost and be like, I'm not giving you any fucking reaction anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Don't try and shit on me. It never works. It almost
never worked.
His second and third round, I had Nun winning the battle still in his second and third, but the crowd didn't give him reaction because of that. And so now your footage looks really lopsided, and it opens the door for people that do view battles as whoever gets the most crowd reaction wins to say, oh, Red should have won that. Nun didn't deserve it. And so it was an interesting thing. And I mean, what are your thoughts on, as a battler, almost shitting on the crowd in front of them while you still have 2 rounds left?
The crowd is your friend. The crowd wants. The thing is, this is just like dating, which is weird. But the crowd, who you're trying to impress, they want you to be good. They want you to be amazing. And so there's a disconnect there, and you start blaming them for not understanding how amazing you are, oh boy, that's an uphill battle. I think I did that once when I was absolutely destroyed versus Isaac Knox. He just fucking eviscerated me. And in my third, I had like one good bar because I was not good at that point. And I was like, this bar is gonna get reaction. And it didn't. And then I looked at the crowd and I was like, you're allowed to react. And they're like, oh, I hate this guy now. Oh, I don't know who he was before, but now I hate him.
Now I really don't like him.
It's not a good strategy for really. You want to.
No. And
yeah.
With that being said, I mean, there's an exception to every rule, just like in science. And I guess you'd have to say that Sue Surf is the only exception because he's the only guy that I've ever watched in a battle tell the crowd repeatedly, shut up.
There's a difference, right? I think it's a subtle difference, but I think it's like, you know, it's almost like daylight. You know, if you boo me, I'll take a boo-boo on the stage. You know, if you know that you're dope and you are like, okay, the difference is it's very subtle, but if you are pleading or upset that the crowd is not getting your stuff, that's a different energy than fuck you. Different energy than, you know, like, you know, this crowd, like abuse. Crowds like abuse. They don't like being told that they're not getting it. They don't like being told that they're not, but they do like abuse. There's some ways, you know, I mean, there's tons of classic examples. Definitely Sue Surf, definitely Daylight. Even O'Shea, you know, goes into Ireland and just abuses the Irish for 3 rounds. Like there's a sort of respect you get from a battler who's that confident. But if you're confident in your material, but you're disappointed with the crowd reaction, then that energy translates as well. And then you want people to feel sorry for you, and they're not going to.
Yeah. And I guess it is different because Sue Surf isn't asking for the crowd to react. They're reacting so much that he's telling them to stop reacting. So the crowd does already like what he's saying. So you can tell them to shut up because it's not like they're just going to stop liking it now.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense.
There's so many variables. It's crazy. But yeah, interesting battle for sure. I know that a lot of O-Red's stuff is getting quoted because his material, when you look at it in print, is very funny.
It's something. Quadruple entendres, triple entendres, and bringing out the old Professor Shine, Professor O-Red. You know, lots of gimmicks in this event, actually.
For real. And that's, you know, why we love O-Red on the Bodycast, and why we definitely didn't predict him to win the tournament, but still do well.
Yes,
that's really where our predictions are at. What else we got? Okay, the let's go to the fucking semifinals.
Yeah.
JC versus Sheed happens. What a good battle.
Yeah, it was a great battle. I honestly had Sheed winning. I had it as battle of the night. I had Sheed winning the second and third. And I don't know. I was kind of surprised that JC took it, in all honesty. Not because he didn't deserve to. It was a great battle on his end. I just thought that she was obviously the winner of the battle. So
that's so interesting. Yeah. I know that it was contested, and I'm sure that in the room it's different. How many judges? Did they just have DNA on Zoom? He was the only
They had Quest.
Okay.
And they had DNA on the Zoom was just for Stumbles and Snake Eyes.
Okay.
I think they kept the same judges for the, you know, for consistency sake for the Ultimate Fight. So I think it was, I can't even remember the other judge, but it was Tony.
Right. Jimmy's saying she blew it in the third, focusing on the crackhead angle.
He did spend a little bit too much time on that. So but I mean, you could say that with any battle. We were talking about it last week. Every battler ever brings up versus Sharon the same angle over and over again, and, you know, various different things. When you get tied into a certain thing that people can talk about it, it's tough. Everyone I've ever battled has talked about me being a zookeeper. And I know it'll still happen even though I'm not one anymore. You know,
it's almost great to like create that focal point for yourself and then manage it as a battler, you have your defense. Like the puppets thing was great for me because it sort of was like, oh, suddenly this guy is attached to this event. I became the puppet master. I put it in all my promo. I expected stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, when you are a battler and people know you about one specific thing, and you can actually turn that to your advantage by making it the focal point, having good defense. And here's another example where somebody focuses on it too much, and maybe people are bored.
Yeah, definitely. I still think I had him edging that round. Again, I mean, subjective, right? Jimmy proves it right there that there was tons of people that thought that JC won it 2-1 first and third, and most of the judges thought that as well. So
cool ascension for Jay-Z. Like, I mean, ascension. What am I saying? Like, he could jump on whatever card whenever. Him being in this tournament is a good look for the tournament. But proving his quality pretty much.
Yeah, and I would say that coincidentally it goes for Sheed as well, right? I mean, he's proven now that he can beat high level competition 2 weeks apart in a tournament setting. That doesn't, him not winning the money and winning the tournament doesn't end badly for Sheed at all.
Totally. Sheed, where did he come from? I remember seeing him on iBattle cards a long time ago. Did he come from that?
He's an older battler. I'm not 100% sure where he comes from, but his rise on URL is from being in the tournament not too long ago. I don't know if it was the last tournament or, he was a part of a class of Ultimate Madness, whichever one it was. Can't remember.
Cool. Yeah. Well, good for him. So speaking of meteoric rises and good for him, let's do it. Swamp versus Fawns.
Yeah, this is, you got to praise Swamp at this point in time. What?
That's it.
You're going to tell me that Swamp is going to get through Nitty and then Fawns back to back on 2 weeks?
It's crazy.
Now, like we talked about, maybe it wasn't the most prep Nitty or the best Nitty ever.
Sure.
And maybe 2 weeks apart is something you would say for Fawns, but he did it already on the first Ultimate Madness and won that tournament. So you can't even use that as an excuse for him.
Yeah. And the material that he had versus those opponents, like it's like I can't imagine, what Nitty 100% on his game looks like versus Swamp. But even still, it's a close battle. I don't know. He had these lines that are moments. He's saying things that are like, it's almost like that's a skill in itself to say something that's so dope that it doesn't have to be crazy wordplay. It's just sort of like resonates. It's just its home no matter what.
Yeah.
And his style, like we're saying before last week or the other week, I don't remember which week, but just knowing, what the pocket is for Swamp with his character is huge, and just amplifying that. It's been really fun to watch him and cheer for him.
Yeah. At this point, I think that you would say, or you'd have to say that most people are cheering for him to win.
Yeah.
How would you not? This is the Cinderella story.
For real. That's definitely it. And great competition with JC, for the finals now, because JC is a long established vet, one of the best, most charismatic writers, performers in Battlerap history, I think, personally. I mean, shit. Yeah, legendary status established, well established.
Yeah. I mean, he has the current longest winning streak on the URL app, 13 straight. Well, 14 after this one, 14 straight wins on the app. So
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So interesting night for the URL. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Because we want to sort of move along here.
Regarding the actual battles themselves, not necessarily. I don't know if we wanted to talk about the NOME announcements that did happen during the event itself, or if we want to wait for that a little bit later.
Yeah, well, we can get into that. But I wanted to read this comment too on the live thread. Definitely check out r/rap battles, the live discussion thread. So good. User Strap Lifa 22, who's one of my favorite users. URL lucky it's American and not Japanese, as they would commit suicide on stage. And one of the replies is he replied, he said, Sudoku shit. because you know how the Japanese honor killings be all about putting numbers in boxes until you die. I think he means seppuku,
He
but
does mean seppuku, yes.
death by Sudoku is also how they do.
That's a very underrated comment, actually.
Sudoku shit. So shouts out to him. Yeah, it's a fun event, and I think most people are like, okay, cool, let's do NOME 12.
Yeah. Well, some people are saying that, and some people aren't, though. It was kind of met with a little bit of a tale of two cards again.
Adam Bruh, user Adam Bruh. Is this the right one? Yeah. Smack started the event. Please get your NOME tickets. They sell out quickly. Please get your tickets. Smack after 2 shots. If you don't get your NOME tickets, kill yourself.
Yeah, definitely was an interesting. That was unexpected.
They're having fun over there. Honestly, they know how to make moments, and I don't know. NOME 12. It looks like okay. It looks kind of top heavy. I know I was discussing with the boys. It looks very, the full card. It looks like the top 3 battles, top 4 battles. What is that? Top 3 battles?
I think top 3.
Full one in front of me right now, but it's T-Rock versus T-Top.
Fire.
Danny Myers versus Nun is not one of the top 3. Goods versus Easy to Block Captain, which we were discussing. And Geechee versus Hollow. So you're right, top 3. So
yeah, that's super top heavy. I mean, like, that sounds exactly what you would want a NOME card to be. And then there's the next 3, which kind of seem interesting. At the same point in time, you got to give guys their shot on it.
Sure. Yeah, but the thing is, NOME is not a development card. NOME is not like NOME is night of main events, and this is a night of 3 main events and some undercard.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me, anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, does Danny Myers deserve to be on a real NOME? Yes, I think that the last one, the COVID NOME, doesn't really count. This is his first one on a real big stage in Houston. He finally gets his NOME moment, which is deserved.
Yes,
I think that it should have been against a better opponent. Nun's been doing great. And so this is kind of maybe his, hey, there you go. You got your opportunity. But if you look at this and you as Nun go on to never battle on another NOME, can you say, yeah, I battled on NOME though? Because people are going to go, you battled on the NOME where they let fucking anyone battle.
Yeah.
Ooh. Glue Easy versus Serious Jones? Are you fucked?
What?
I like Glue Easy.
Yeah, shouts out to Glue Easy, friend of the show.
Probably. I think that he just needs to get all his material out and write longer rounds because they've been short lately. And Serious Jones is trash.
That's a slap in the face. That match is like...
It just makes no sense.
You know, it's like you're doing world domination and having it only be Americans. Like,
yeah.
Main event?
For what? What is that the main event of?
No.
A really shitty card.
Right? It's like a B League in Alabama. So, definitely no shade to those battlers, which is hard to say. But it's not.
I definitely threw some shade at Serious Jones.
Yeah.
Normally, that's not what we do here on our /rap battles, but I feel very strongly about this. And the reason why was because I went on Twitter and I saw everyone saying Glue Easy versus Serious Jones. And I went, you're joking. I literally thought that it was a joke that was going around and people were making up a card and this was kind of the funny thing. And I was out of the joke. And then I saw that it was real. Yeah. And I went, it should have been a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, Jimmy knows this one's weird. Definitely. The fact that Serious Jones is still getting booked. And you know what's weird is that we were saying that the last time he got booked. And it feels like the time before that. It's like, really? Serious Jones? Where the fuck does this come from?
And he's getting big opponents. Rum Nitty, Chilla Jones. Those are the last few. Obviously, Glue Easy isn't the largest name currently. But it's on one of the largest cards. And who knows? You know, the thing about Battlerap is, at the end of the day, NOME could come and go, and afterwards we could be going, wow, performance of the night was Sirius Jones. That was unbelievable. Good for him.
Battlerap would do that to us.
And lately, it sure would.
But like, come on, man. I mean, this guy is, behind the scenes stuff too. Like this is not this is an unsavory individual. Why are we entertaining this?
Yeah, it absolutely made no sense. JC versus Swamp. Obviously, it should be on there because that's the finals. So it is a main event technically. Is JC versus Swamp not in a tournament setting as the finals a main event? Probably not. But the hype that they have built for one another, making their way through the tournament, has it at the point where I view that as the fourth best battle on that card. I rank it over Danny and None, and I rank it over Gluezy and Sirius.
1000% yes, you're correct. Jimmy's out here defending Sirius, and I think it's a worthwhile discussion to have, because what do you weigh a battler's past accomplishments on whether or not they should continue to have a future in the league? But I don't want this to be a Sirius Jones discussion podcast, so I don't know. It's a what have you done for me lately kind of thing. And Battlerap has always been like that.
It's always been you're as good as your last battle is. And at the same point in time, you look at, Sirius beat Disaster. He might have beat Pat Stay, but at the same point in time, you can book whoever you want to against whoever you want to. And if the one opponent goes, yeah, but it's just Sirius Jones, so I'm not really gonna fucking try. Even if you lose, then it's a situation where does it count? Does it matter? Right? I mean, Pat Stay lost to Ilmac for the chain for King of the Dot, but everyone goes, yeah, well, he didn't try though.
Yeah, it's true. Willie's got a good point. You know, if the battle's not good, then why do you like? Yeah, I feel strongly that I won my previous battle to the last one, and it just was not good a battle. So it's like, what does that even matter then?
It's one of those things, right? I mean, there's lots of people that say Sirius beat Rum, but if Sirius did beat Rum, it was obviously because Nitty didn't fucking try.
Which is tough.
And then does it matter? Does that count as a run? Right? I mean, if you're running a race against somebody and they twist their ankle or they are jogging the race and you win,
champion.
It's interesting. It's just a weird topic. But like you said, I don't want to talk too much about Sirius Jones.
Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so talking about NOME 12, who do you got? Swamp versus JC.
I have to go with Swamp.
User Prib 30245, definitely not a fake user. JC gonna bring Swamp back down to earth. I think Swamp will get around probably the first, but JC Pen too crazy. JC, lots of people have JC here. I don't see him talking his way out of another puncher though. Pizzy P, you know, the legend Pizzy P on r/rap battles, Pizzy P 123, says he hates Swamp, but he impressed him versus Nitty and Fonz. He's got JC 2-1. Yeah, I don't know. There's just it feels like most people have JC winning this just because of his experience.
And on paper, you would have to say so, but we're talking about now a subjective art form. When it comes to an actual sport, and you have a tournament and an underdog that's making their way, when they get to the final game, they still have to beat the team that they're in front of. Now JC has to beat Swamp, but he also has to beat the people who are watching him and wanting Swamp to win because of the underdog story. And now if the judges are doing things the proper way, that won't affect them. But that means that there's still at least one vote coming from the crowd that will affect.
Totally.
So it's going to be an interesting judged battle, I think.
Yeah, it should be really cool. And this has been a good Ultimate Madness. I don't know. I've enjoyed this one. Lots of upsets.
First one was a little bit iffy, but yeah, the first event.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. Should be interesting. Tay-Rock versus T-Top. Did we do this one already?
Did we talk about it? Yeah, we talked about it last week, I think.
Okay, good. Danny Myers versus Nun Nun. We touched on that. Who goes from Rock to Nitty to Nun Nun? User Nicholas Rude says it's Danny's goal to battle every single battle rapper that has ever existed, and I think that's fair.
I mean, I saw somebody talking about this on a subreddit also, and or maybe it was on Twitter, and maybe it might have even been Mike P, to be honest. But it gets to the point where NOME has been going on for so long, and all of the events that are happening around NOME are happening, and there aren't a lot of matchups left for the caliber of battlers that would typically be on NOME that they haven't already done maybe somewhere else or on a different card. And so you really need to see that next level step up and take their spot to be able to take over those cards and have people go, yeah, we want to see them on NOME. It's not a NOME without them.
Right.
Because at this point, you say that about guys like Tay-Rock. You say it about guys like, Nitty, Geechee, guys like Hollow. It's not a NOME if it doesn't have them on it. Eventually, they have no one to battle, though.
Right.
And so then what do? You got to put other people on there. And so the fans have to accept that it's changing. Battlerap is always changing.
But, also that's the point of all of the other cards. Like, you have to develop talent. That's their job. I mean, I'm not going to make excuses for the URL here. Like, you've got top tier talent. And the most difficult part of any league is developing future stars. And if you've got guys on your mega huge ultra event and the audience is like, why? Then that's your failing as a league. I'm sorry. Responsibility, buck stops with you. Do you want all of the people on your night of main events to be main events? You want the crowd to be like, this guy. Yes, that guy. And for sure, this one, you're just sort of like, well, no. Goats don't do politics. User Finesse, FNESSE, Finesse says, you got people like Rock, Nitty, Geechee, Danny battling everybody, ducking no smoke. But that's a bad thing. I'm not hyped for this matchup at all, but this is the type of shit don't lower their stock, in my opinion. I'd rather have these type top tier battle rappers than people who are too busy doing politics than actually battling. Well, that's fair assessment.
I'd say so. Again, I mean, it leaves matchups like Goods and Easy. With Goods not battling all the time, then he is somebody that can battle on NOME because you don't see him often, and it builds the hype for matches. Hitman Hollow and Geechee, that's one people have been talking about for a long time. That'll probably happen on Summer Madness, but if not, it would happen on NOME because that's bringing him back to that situation. Hitman versus Twerk, guys that don't battle often can still battle on those cards.
Right.
And so it results in a situation where URL needs to either not have cards so often and make sure that they're still developing talent and leaving room to breathe so that battlers have matchups for their big cards. Or maybe it's a matter of doing NOME every other year instead of every year. But again, then you have to fill it with something else, and that takes away possible matchups. And so it's a really, really interesting conundrum that they have.
Jimmy's saying Good's top tier, of course. He's going to be on NOME in Summer Madness. Willie making another good point. If you're trying to push new talent on NOME, you should be booking them versus guys who are on NOME level, not new talent versus new talent. And I think that's what this battle is right here. Easy is new talent, and Goods is super established. And this solidifies it. Nobody's questioning whether or not this is a NOME battle. Definitely very much is.
I agree. I think that Nun and Danny and Louisi and Sirius are situations that are a little different than that.
Yeah.
Where it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Totally. Do I think that Danny deserves to be on NOME? Yes. Do I think that Nun deserves to be on NOME? Yes. But like Willie said, if they were against matchups that better fit the idea of somebody who deserves to be there already and is a star level, right? I mean, Danny and Lux has been talked about forever. That would be a fantastic NOME battle. Like, there's lots that could have happened. I just didn't expect to see Danny and Nun.
Yeah.
And Gluezy and Sirius Jones. That's a get the crowd warm so that they're ready for the real battles type. That's the smoke break battle.
Get them into the mode. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of back and forth about whether or not Easy can stand up to Goods, because user Jacob Yant possibly says Goods definitely going to beat him very easily. Easy is a little guy, and that dope talk ain't gonna work versus Goods. Goods is shitting on Easy in every aspect of life, he goes on to say. So I don't know. I mean, Goods is really tough, obviously, to beat, and in the room and in the moment, everybody says that he wins pretty consistently.
Yeah.
But Easy is doing so much more, and he does all the stuff that I personally love about Battlerap, where he's saying like not only really dope shit, but there's levels to it, there's subtext, there's layers, it's like really good writing, and Goods is very much personality oriented.
Yeah. And this says a lot about Easy being a battle that versus Goods that people wanted to see, because his last battles might not be Tay-Rock. There might have been one in between, but let's say Goods versus Tay-Rock. There was Goods versus Cassidy. There was Goods versus Geechee. So we're talking about very, very high level names.
Facts.
This was Cassidy's return, was that battle. So before Cassidy, we all learned that he was absolute garbage. But we're talking about really big names and then Easy. So I think that it's really great for him. I think that it's going to be one that people will argue about, unless it's absolutely insane material on either of their ends. But I think it'll be a debatable.
Yeah, it will be highly debatable, as it is with Goods. I just hope he doesn't fucking stink it up. Honestly, I just want to I want to hear some bars. I want to hear some shit. I want to hear some haymakers. I want him to be saying really, really cool shit. And I just don't want to be bored to tears.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going. Geechee versus Hollow. Wow. I mean, potentially wow, right? I mean, maybe 5 years ago or 4 years ago or something like that. I don't even know really what did you think about Hollow anymore? His stock he was so high, and then he was legend status. He's my favorite battler. He was top one for me for a long time, and this return has been so underwhelming.
It's been weird.
Weird is a good word to describe it.
Weird. It just doesn't seem like him.
Yeah.
Or at least not the him that we all got used to seeing.
Or are we jaded? Were we wrong before? And no, it was dope. He was dope before. He's a murderer. He's crazy. He's insane in control, in rap ability, in punchlines, in angles, is in connecting and creating moments. That was Hollow. I mean, we saw, Hollow versus Nitty. It was this is Hollow? And
Hollow versus K-Shine was even worse and weirder.
Yeah.
But with that being said, those are also a pair of battles where, and you could even go back to saying him versus Hoffa, where each of his opponents had something against him. Obviously, Hoffa had stuff against him. He had the issues that he had. Versus Nitty, Hollow created these issues and created this this storyline almost where Nitty disliked him, and that bubbled into again the K-Shine match where again Shine didn't really care for Hollow, and so it just really seemed strange. I don't know if that's the tactic. Like Jimmy said, there's lots of people that say that Hollow beat Nitty and beat Shine.
Yeah.
But again, it's a situation where neither of them was very impressive. So And Hollow wasn't very impressive either.
That's a great topic for maybe another episode, but like, does hating your opponent make it a better battle, or does really having a lot of respect for your opponent make it a better battle? Ooh,
That's a great topic.
yeah.
Remember that one.
For another time, because
Yes, because it'll probably be, we will have to talk about that longer than we have time for.
Facts. User, man, what? An alt, I guess. Okay, I thought it said anal T guess, but an alt, I guess, is definitely the user's name. uh, Anal T guess says people don't remember when everyone thought Clips was undefeatable until the words Kit Kat, and Geechee had a similar simplicity first line of thinking that Clips does. A really easy character to assassinate. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's really depends on which, Hollow and which Geechee we get, because if you get the Geechee that battled Mike P, I don't know if anything could stop that.
Mm-hmm.
That it's pure aggression and energy and angling and punching. Like that's something that I don't think Hollow has. Like Hollow's great and all the things, but I never see Hollow as like, oh, I'm gonna kick your ass. Like, oh, I'm gonna fucking like physically dominate you this battle. And Geechee has that gear in him where he can just take it over.
I don't know. And I think this is going to be for a lot of fans the last straw.
Yes.
Where this is your last chance, Hollow. You're gonna have to win us back. But watching this one, do I think that it's going to be great? It has the opportunity to be.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch it hoping that it is.
The legacy is in the balance here. Because
yes.
How we remember Hollow is going to be defined by this last, couple years. And it's like, if you had stayed retired or something like that, a lot of people I'm sure you'd be just in your mind unequivocal number one. But now it's like you're back in the ring, you're making things happen, then you may not be the fucking number one anymore.
Yeah.
And if Geechee overwhelmingly like destroys this battle, is he fucking champion of all time? Or are they gonna have to create an award for that? Because like that's fucking Mount Rushmore shit. You're literally doing construction on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, at that point it has to be. I mean, there's still Geechee has battled with Hollow now. Everyone except Mook, I guess, that is considered to be on the Mount Rushmore. There's no Mook, there's no Diz, and there's no Hitman, which I feel like would be the three that would put him in that situation where he would have to be the best of the best. Especially because I don't think anyone can say that they have battled all of those names.
For real.
Except maybe Rock.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Facts. But yeah, no, I mean, it's insane. It's insane to think about his run and his potential and his legacy and that it really does. It's a fucking great battle. It's a really good battle, potentially. And I hope it lives up to the hype because just craziness. Okay. URL bong. We did it. We were like, I'm just dedicate a small part of the show to URL, and then we'll cover the international stuff. URL's got a lot of shit going on right now. Very exciting, and fair play to them. I think that we wanted to cover the academy a little bit, but I don't know. I've seen some of the drops so far, and this looks really dope. Have you caught any of the academy drops? I know that we watched Bard versus Savant.
Yep, I caught Bard versus Savant. I caught King versus Matto. I think is which one it was. That one was really, really good. I think that Matto's the only one still from Team Bizzo that is in the Academy tournament. And then I saw Gas Buff I saw his battle as well.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about it because Gas Buff is friend of the show
Yes.
and just total legend. Yeah, this is his first battle, is it?
I think it's his first battle on Premiere or on YouTube, like that actually dropped. It's got to be something like that.
It's adorable.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting rapping voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting style. I think that Kupar is great. They've got this thing going on with Kupar. He accidentally said that he was pegging someone or he was getting pegged. His girlfriend was pegging him. So he's made that sort of his thing. That's his focal point is, hey, my girlfriend has anal sex with me and not in the way that you would imagine. And I don't know if that's really like where you want to go.
Yeah.
Hey, I like getting fucked in the ass with a strap on. It's an interesting choice. But yeah, it's a choice.
I thought it was a funny battle. It was really well done. I was impressed with Gas Buff. I mean, Kupar was the finalist last year against Graza, and I thought that made a great academy battle for sure.
Yeah, good academy battle. I thought Kupar, he's got a lot of the tools. He's got a lot of the elements that are really dope. And Gas is just you can tell that he's very clever. I think he doesn't know what to do with his body yet. A lot of the time it's just sort of like static, and that comes with time and comes with being comfortable. But as far as his writing is concerned, it's really funny and interesting. He's really good at creating, catching your attention and doing something with it, and flipping angles, flipping shit so that it's funny. Like it's like a comedian. Comedian knows how to set up an expectation and then surprise you, and he's really good at that. And you can tell it's promo, but the fact that it translates in the ring is really dope.
Yeah, and the nice thing for him as well is that he has the writing down for his style and what he wants to say, and that'll obviously only get better the more he does it. And the thing about performance is that some people are natural performers, some people are natural writers, but it's a lot harder to teach somebody to write good than it is to teach somebody to perform good. And so that's something that he'll learn, I'm sure.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that's, even that I'll argue with you. That's a whole other episode. Jimmy wants to talk about the Beast Mode event. Did you see the trailer? I did see the trailer. Really cool work by Shuts Out Sean. Yeah.
The absolute man.
I think that's a big part of it too. When you're talking about battle rap promotion, is like there has to be an allure of coolness. When King of the Dot was doing the blackout cards, and you hear the boom, and you see the fade, and you see Avocado doing the graphics and doing the trailers for the shit. It looks cool, and that helps sell the card. So just throwing out a flyer, it's not always going to sell your event. You put that little extra effort in, and it's really, really dope. So shouts out to Beast Mode. I hope that they have a really good event. It's going to be next week, probably.
Yeah, I think it's next weekend. Yeah,
okay. And we might not do a show next weekend. We'll see.
I won't be here on Sunday.
Yeah, and I am getting married, so it's a hard ask for me to be like, hey, my lovely fiance, do you mind if I just do a bunch of battle rap shit before we get married? That's a tough one for me and my ability to stay alive on this planet. But we'll take that into consideration, and if not, c'est la vie. We'll be back, I'm sure. So I don't know. Great show today. Really just went in on URL stuff, but that's what's happening. So, man, stay tuned. There's a whole lot of stuff. So the show, Cope. Okay, well, maybe Willie, you come on. I'll do it with you. You tell us all about the cool shit that you're doing over there on the island. thanks everybody for tuning in. Really fun show this week. Remember to follow us Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and join the Discord link in the sidebar. Sidebar Discord. This Discord is popping off. It's great. There's battles all the time. There's discussion. People are playing Among Us. Super dope. If you liked this episode, click like. If you haven't subscribed yet, click subscribe. Is what somebody would say. Who really likes the show and enjoys it? I don't, care. You don't want to do it, do what you want. I don't really care. Cool people are urging you to support the show and share it and like it and stuff like that. And if cool people want you to do it, hey, something to take into consideration. Path?
That's all from me, I guess. All I got to say is if you don't like it, click like anyway. And if you are subscribed already, unsubscribe and resubscribe again.
There you go. If you don't like it, leave a comment. Tell us why. All the comments, whole bunch of comments, and keep that engagement going. We love you. Shouts out to everybody watching and listening here and abroad. That's our show for this week, and we will catch you next Sunday.
Maybe.
Bong bong. Peace out, guys.